Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon. It's your boy Mike D, aka DDE80, aka 13 Wonder of the World, aka Mike Deezy in the house, ladies and gentlemen. So nice to hear from you guys today. God bless you. God keep you. Shout out to the Point Place family. Shout out to Bobby Reezy. Shout out to the whole Point Place family, as well as shout out to my little homeboy M Breezy, and also shout out to my baby niece Navaya. I call her Vaya, and also to my sister Trina, and to everybody out here today on this Wednesday, hump day. You know, let's get it, folks. Let's get it. Let's push. Let's push to get our purpose out. Let's push to get ourselves together. And let's push to just do something to make the day better. Wow, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight was supposed to be AEW Dynamite, but of course AEW Dynamite came on last night. And I'm going to talk about strictly that wrestling today from AEW as well as NXT. Great shows from both sides of the companies. I think that NXT show was a little bit better than AEW's. I know they were competing with Edge's first match in AEW, as well as they were competing with John Cena, Asuka, LA Knight, who was on there as well as The Undertaker and Paul Heyman all showed up on NXT. First of all, I want to go with what I saw NXT. Asuka, in my book, is the greatest NXT women star there ever was. Because Asuka is still undefeated in NXT. Bill Goldberg had one of the greatest records of undefeated records of all time. But his record cannot compare to the record of Asuka in NXT. Roxanne Perez put up a great match with Asuka, but in the end, she was not ready for Asuka. And shout out to Asuka, because I'm hearing that Asuka could possibly be retiring this year from the WWE or next year. Saying that her retirement might be coming soon. So it's good to see that Asuka, is still at it, still doing what she need to do. But nobody's ready for Asuka in NXT. Shout out to Asuka. I had said yesterday that John Mox, was supposed to be fighting against Ray Phoenix for the AEW International title. Well, Moxley is not cleared yet, so Orange Cassidy fought against Ray Phoenix, and Orange Cassidy became the two-time AEW Atlantic champion. And shout out to Orange Cassidy. Congratulations to Orange Cassidy for winning again. But whoever they would have picked besides, it could have been anybody on the roster, Ray Phoenix was going to lose that title last night because he's injured. He is really legitimately injured, and they had to take the belt off of him. But shout out to Orange Cassidy for taking this opportunity and knocking it out the park. The Brawling Brutes with Tyler Bate defeated Gallus. Great match. Great match between those six guys. But in the end, the Brawling Brutes done it. Shout out to Pete Dunne, Ridge Holland, and Tyler Bate for winning their match. All six guys did a tremendous job in the match. Had everything going on. Cody Rhodes in NXT had 3 announcements. One was that he was the special general manager for that night in NXT. Also, the Dusty Cup is coming back. The Dusty Cup Tag Team Tournament is coming back. Shout out to the great Dusty Rhodes that's in the sky. And also the men's breakout star of NXT is going to be coming just like the women's. Lola Vice won advanced yesterday over Danny Palmer. It was a great outing. It was good to see Cody Rhodes in NXT. First time I think he's ever been in there on camera, on television, excuse me, for the first time. Great outing for Cody Rhodes. I think if I'm WWE, when he gets late in his career, I think he comes back to NXT and shows some of the young guys what's up. And you think that nobody didn't get the rub off Cody Rhodes? Dragunov got the rub. Him and Dom had a great match for the NXT title, world title. Dom loses, but what you expect? Dragunov's the man right now. He's the head of the honcho. He's the head of the show. He's the world champion. But because John Cena was featured in the main event, he became second place. You see what I'm saying? But Dragunov's good. I think Dragunov will have a nice little run. He's got to deal with Corbin. He's got to deal with, again, Mello. And he also has to deal with Dijak. Dijak now is going to be one of the guys that's going to try to contend for the title with him. I don't know who's going to win that match. I think you go with somebody different. I don't think Carmelo, if Carmelo does win this match, I think Carmelo does not win the title back because he just had it. And I don't know what's going on with Trick. I keep telling you guys that it's going to end up being Trick versus Melo before it's all said and done. Because Trick is he's not happy about what happened. He can pretend like he is, but he's not happy that he lost the North America title to Dom like that. And he's going to want a rematch for it. He's probably going to get it. Great matches in NXT. Hangman Page, Jay White, they had a great match. Prince Nana caused him the match. Payback for what he did earlier when he caused Swerve Strickland the #1 contenders match against Bryan Danielson, a.k.a. Daniel Bryan. So now we're going to have Bryan Danielson versus Christian. I don't think we ever had that match between Daniel Bryan versus Christian Cage. And I'm here to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be a great match. This is Bryan Danielson's first opportunity at a title, at the TNT title, excuse me. If I'm AEW and I know that Bryan Danielson is on a short-term contract, which means I know that he's limited and he's not going to be wrestling all the time, I put the belt on him. I put a belt on him. I let him go to AEW, and I let him win a championship, because that's exactly what you're going to do with Adam Copeland. Adam Copeland's not in AEW not to win no titles. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. He's there to win titles. The Hardy Boys. If Jeff Hardy was straight, and if Jeff Hardy was not injured all the time, you can best to believe that Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy would have been the AEW Tag Team Champions by now. I'm telling you. I am telling you what I know. I'm telling you what it is. They would have had a run at those tag team titles. Excuse me, man. My sinus is acting up a little bit, folks. You know how it is when it changes the weather. But, and so Chris Jericho got pounded by Powerhouse Hobbs. Like I keep telling you guys, Chris Jericho is here now to build up talent. He's not there to try to be a champion or nothing like that. He's there to build up talent. But, now I guess now they're going to go with Powerhouse versus Kenny. Kenny's probably going to beat Powerhouse, but Jericho lost to him. So we'll see what happens in the upcoming of that. Um, Great matches on both sides of the show. Also, Hikaru Shida, the first ever three-time AEW Women's Champion. I thought that Paige was going to keep the belt, Saraya, aka Paige. I thought she was going to keep the belt a little longer. She had a short reign as the champion because of Toni Storm. Toni Storm cost her the title. And so now I guess it's going to be Paige, Saraya versus, you know, Toni Storm. I guess they're going to be duking it out now for the, for the rivalry. Because she felt like, yeah, you just screwed me out of my title. So now I'm going to have to, it's going to be interesting to see what happens between those two when they just have some legit matches now. Also, ladies and gentlemen, Ruby Soho, who is Ruby Riott in WWE, had to be barred from ringside. She wasn't there, so that's how it happened. Man, it's crazy. Great match, great, situation. MJF was on there. Jay White walking around thinking he's the AEW champion. They're going to have a great match. Jay White versus MJF is going to be a great match when they have it. And I think MJF still is going to come out the winner. I keep saying this. I want people to understand this. What I'm saying, Adam Cole, if he's injured, but I think that Adam Cole is going to be the guy that takes the title from MJF. That's what I see. I don't see Edge doing it right now. I see Edge, I think they build it up to Edge. And if Edge does take on MJF, well, Edge might win or MJF might win. Who knows what might happen in that situation right there. Also, Jade Cargill, Shawn Michaels had an interaction last night as well. Like I said, NXT was great as well as AEW. The great shock was, I knew the dead man, The Undertaker, the Hall of Famer, probably in my book, one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. I put him in a segment by himself. Braun Breaker lost the match to Carmelo. He's talking noise, then you hear the boom, and then you hear the American BA song that Kid Rock made for The Undertaker about 20 years ago. The Undertaker is now coming back on the motorcycle, throwing up the hand in the air. Great for business. Carmelo gets the rub. Also, Braun Breaker gets the rub. Even though he got chokeslammed and punched by The Undertaker, he still gets the rub because what that does is that elevates him and makes him a little bit bigger now that he gets the rub from The Undertaker. Giving Braun Breaker and giving Carmelo Hayes the rub. Paul Heyman as well. And if you notice, Paul Heyman was in an office talking to The Rock's daughter, B.Ray, aka Simone Johnson. Simone Johnson, who is The Rock's firstborn, was being talked to by Paul Heyman. Very interesting. The bloodline. I want you all to pay attention to that. The bloodline has been talking about adding a female to their group. You think for 1 second that Roman Reigns would not sign or get The Rock's daughter to be a part of the bloodline? Absolutely. I can name 3 people right now that could be down with the bloodline. One is Tamina Snuka. And I don't know where she is right now. I don't know if she's injured, she's off, or what's going on with her. She would fit the bill for what Roman Reigns needs as a female in the bloodline. 2, the irresistible force, Nia Jax. because that's also Roman Reigns' cousin. Just as well as Tamina Snuka is also Roman Reigns' cousin. That's two. And three, Ava Rain, aka Simone Johnson. I'm telling you guys, be on the lookout for one of those three with the female that joins the bloodline with Jimmy Uso and Solo and Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns. That could be happening in the near future. But other than that, and one more thing, the exclusive, ladies and gentlemen, that happened after NXT went off the air, the Undertaker comes out there, Carmelo follows the Undertaker, and they throw up the one arm to the fans, just like the Undertaker did it when he was the dead man. Great rub and a great amount of respect for Carmelo Hayes to just hang and entwine with the Undertaker. It's best for business. Those are the moves that NXT makes to make their product better. That is why I said what I said. That's why I still say this to this day, that WWE is better than AEW. AEW is a second brand show. Impact's third. Ring of Honor as well as AEW. They're combined. But I'm telling you, that's why WWE is the better product. And don't get me wrong, Edge, congratulations to Edge for winning his first match against Luchasaurus. It's going to come down to Edge end up fighting Christian. That's all that's happening. That's all that's going to happen. But I think they're going to make a buffer to where it be a 6-man tag between Edge with Sting and Darby versus Nick Wayne, Luchasaurus, and Christian Cage. That's going to be a future match, ladies and gentlemen. Bar none, going to be a future match because everybody's going to want to clamor and tune in to see Sting team up with Edge because they never saw it. And it's going to happen. And it's going to happen real soon in AEW. I wish it would have happened in WWE, but Edge was out with an injury when Sting was there. That would have been great for business to see Sting team up with Edge. But you're going to get to see it now in AEW. Great night of action from both AEW and WWE. Like I said, with WWE NXT, the breakout match was great. Lola Vice and Danny Palmer, they had a great banger of a match. The Brawling Brutes versus Gallus, that was a great, match where they incorporated all the weapons and things like that. John Cena and Solo going at it. Solo coming back to NXT, going at it with John Cena. That's probably going to be the matchup that I think is going to happen at Crown Jewel. If not, John Cena goes up against Roman Reigns. They have to find an opponent for Roman Reigns. And if it be John versus Roman Reigns, everybody knows that Roman Reigns is going to beat John Cena. Everybody knows that John Cena is going to go 0 for 3 against Roman Reigns since he's been, the guy. You know what I'm saying? When he was with the Shield, I think John Cena didn't beat him as a member of the Shield, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. But I wish they wouldn't go with that. I wish they wouldn't go that route with that match. I wish they would find a number one contender to go up against Roman Reigns. Instead of LA Knight could be the guy that goes up against Roman Reigns. That would be a great match at Crown Jewel. Everybody knows that LA Knight's probably not going to win the match, but LA Knight will probably have a great showing if they go with that match right there for the Bloodline, because those two guys right now are with the Bloodline. They're fighting those guys right now. So I would love to see John go up against, I'd rather John and Solo fight than to see John versus Roman at Crown Jewel. But Roman Reigns is going to fight at Crown Jewel. And I'm thinking that it's probably going to be LA Knight versus him, or they might have another established guy that comes out there and fights Roman Reigns at Crown Jewel. It could be Sami Zayn again. Nobody knows, but I'm just telling you, it could be somebody on the under that does it. And that's all I want to see. I don't want to see that match again between him and Roman. I don't want to see Cena and Roman again. If John Cena's if this is his last time in the business for right now in wrestling, and he going back to the movies, then they need to put him in a match with Solo. And if he beats Solo, which 9 times out of 10 he probably will, but there's a 1% chance say that Solo beats him, then you'll see what I'm talking about with that, ladies and gentlemen. That's just my theory, my thoughts on it, how I feel about it, what is it all about. You're going to see better than I can tell you when this happens, because it's going to happen soon, folks. It's just going to happen, and it's just going to be what it is. Also, tonight is WNBA. I thought it was last night, but it's tonight. Stewie and them needs to win game 2 to stay alive in the series, because if Asia and them go up 2-0, there's a possibility that they're going to close it out in 5. I think it's a 5-game series. Of course, it's a 5-game series, but I think they will beat them in 4 in my book, because this is why I say this, because the Aces are just a different machine right now that's going through it and just beating teams like they're nothing. They are the better team right now, but Stewie and them have a chance. So we're going to see what happens tonight with Stewie and Jones against them. Also, the Astros are up in their series. Can the Astros win the series tonight? Can they get it out the way? Can they get rid of them? The Braves got back in the series. The Dodgers are in trouble. The Dodgers have got to win tonight to stay alive in this series. The Orioles, I think the Orioles are gone. The Diamondbacks are beating the not the Astros, but beating the Dodgers, Phillies and the Braves in a shootout. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I'm proud of the Rangers, and I'm proud of the Astros. They're doing their thing. The Texas teams are doing their things as well. My team needs to tighten up tonight and just go ahead on and just put them on out of misery. Go up 2-1 and win the series against the Phillies. But Bryce Harper and those boys are not just going to lay down. Mookie and Freddie and Will Smith, Muncy, and all those boys there, they've got the bats got to start being on their side tonight. They got to go into a different building and prove to everybody, hey, we can win on y'all floor, win in y'all field. So that's the mentality that they need to have tonight in order for them to win. Also, I think college football comes on again tonight. I don't know why college football is now coming on Tuesdays and Wednesdays as well as Thursdays, but it is what it is, ladies and gentlemen. Also, I want to give a shout out to my boy, DJ Fadeaway. Like I said, he's been gave me like a top, 10 of Bret Hart greatest matches, but I got a top 20 of Bret Hart's favorite matches that I'm going to talk about and have a conversation about. And I'm going to do a part 1 and a part 2. I'm going to start on part 1 of it today. And then tomorrow I'm going to do part 2, because tomorrow is NFL football as well as college football. And also tonight, ladies and gentlemen, preseason, the Kings and the Lakers play. And I think it's the Celtics and the Sixers play again tonight, I think, if I'm not mistaken. LeBron's not playing in that game tonight. AD's probably going to play. Rui's going to probably play. We're going to see what the Lakers can do in preseason. Hopefully they, do what they did the other night against Brooklyn. Like I said, me and my boy B.Ray are going to try to have a semi-cast where we talk about sports and have it for you guys on Spotify, even though the AMP app is going to be gone on Halloween, we're still going to try to get that done before the season starts, before the NBA regular season starts. All right. Until then, God bless you. God keep you. You all have a great day. I'll be back in a minute with the Bret Hart's Greatest Match podcast. God bless you.